things to spin up here and give it 1 second. All right, so the video should start to be presented here. Looks like we got about 30 people in the room. Making sure everybody's kind of filling in here just because we just started. I'll let Rick go ahead and start his diatribe here in a moment. Audio sounds good, Rick. You're good to go.
Okay, thanks very much for the kind intro, Eric. So welcome to our second road rally in San Diego. This is the drivers meeting. I'm going to try and whiz through these slides in about 30 minutes, and then there will be a recording that we'll be sending out of this event later tonight. So first things first, and I can see some of you guys are covering this in the chat. So safety, we need both a navigator and a driver in the car. You really do need that navigator. You can't do this solo. We want you to keep to road legal speeds. This route is like any other roads. These are all safe roads, they're regular roads, but there are some dips and gullies on this route. So please be aware of those. If you're in a very low car, then watch out for them. And as always, take a time allowance. We'll be going through the time allowance procedure later. Time allowances are used if you are delayed or need to stop somewhere, and they allow you to run the rally without taking a penalty. So COVID, I guess, as you know, we have some COVID procedures. Now, you shouldn't need to leave your car and interact with people, especially at the start. But if you do, we have, like, please wear a face covering and socially distance. So route directions. You should have received the route directions from me and printed them out. The route directions contain some times. The time starts at 9 a.m. and all the times are called key times. So each key time, you want to add your car number in minutes that time. So if the start time of the event is 9 a.m. and your car number is 30, your start time is going to be 9:30 a.m. And that applies to all the times throughout the route directions. You need to add your car number in minutes. So you might want to do that homework tonight and do the add on the minutes now. So we don't want everybody arriving at the start at 9 a.m. So if you could please arrive in the start area about 10 minutes before your individual start time, that would be great. So we'll go through the main locations on the instructions. So you'll start at the start. The first stop, it's also called a restart, is a numbered route instruction number 5. It's about 7 miles along the route, and that's at Bonzall Community Church. And this run is really just to check your odometer. You're going to leave, zero your odometer, and once you arrive at this point, you want to check your odometer is about this number, and if it's not, then you want to use that to correct all the subsequent mileages. The next stop, or restart as they're called on the instructions, is the Santa Margarita County Reserve at route instruction 18. That's 8 miles down the road. And then once you leave the Santa Margarita County Reserve, you have about 15 minutes here of a break. Once you leave here, you've got 10 more checkpoints. And once you get to route instruction 28, that's the last checkpoint before you drop down the hill into Temecula and you transit through Old Town Temecula. And the reason we're pointing this out is that once you drop down the hill into Temecula through Old Town, there might be some traffic through Old Town Temecula and it might slow you down. But don't worry, because there's no checkpoints until the next restart, which is at numbered route instruction 34. It's a community park. You got a 15-minute break there, so there's plenty of time. The idea of transiting through Old Town is really to appreciate Old Town. It's quite pretty, and there's lots of sights that you don't normally see. So after the stop at the community park, we start again and head towards the finish. And the whole route should take about 2.5 hours. Any questions, Eric? I don't know if you're monitoring the questions or.
Nope, just some comments. I think people are just still tuning in. Just want to some technical reminders. Don't forget to turn up your speakers if you can't hear. Also, you can rewind. So if you want to go back and then listen to this, you can always listen to it in delayed. This URL will stay up. So if you guys have to jump off for anything, you can always leave and come back, and you will be able to use the same URL that you received in your email going forward.
So, okay, NRI is a numbered route instruction. Okay, so next slide. So the start. So in case you haven't worked it out yet, the start is at the park and ride at the intersection of the I-15 and State Route 76. So as you're going north on the I-15, this is State Route 76 going across. There's a park and ride over here on the northwest side of that intersection. So once you arrive at the start, like park up, get ready, open the competitor app on your phone just before you depart. And then once you leave the parking area, please keep moving. We don't want the cars waiting around here for exactly the right time, because it doesn't really matter if you leave at exactly the right time. If you leave a minute early or a minute late, it's not going to make a difference. This checkpoint is not scored. The only point of this checkpoint is really to check that your phone is operational, that you hear a beep and it registers on your phone. And we'll go over that in a minute. So you can make yourself familiar with this map. The checkpoint is really in the very corner of of the parking lot. You'll see the trucks parked up here. There'll be some people hanging out around here. There's a calculator over here showing if you need to travel, say, 4.8 miles and you're a minute early or a minute late, what speed do you need to do to correct for that minute delta over 4.8 miles? And as you can see, in this case, it's really quite a small speed delta of 1 mile an hour. So you don't need to worry about if you're a couple of minutes early or a couple of minutes late. It's not really going to make a big difference. And these first two checkpoints are not timed because you're going from the start here. The next checkpoint is a restart at the church, and starts and restarts are not scored. Okay, so the day of the event. So before leaving the house, make sure your phone is charged, that you're already installed the app, you're using a phone that you've registered the app on. And it would really help if you have a charging cable or a battery pack. Your phone is really probably going to be only about 25% charged by the end of this event. You need to have printed the instructions. It helps if you have a clipboard, full tank of gas or electrons if you're EVing, and your bathroom. So it's a 2.5 hour drive. So each of the restart locations has a bathroom. So just wanted to make you aware of that. So arrive at the start location 10 minutes before your assigned time. There's no on-site registration. You're ready to go actually. So it's arrive and drive. You shouldn't really need to interact with anybody unless you have a problem with your phone. So you're going to open the app, leave that open for the duration of the event, and check the GPS. I'll go over this in a minute. As you leave the start, your phone should detect the test checkpoint, which is checkpoint 1, and it'll make 3 beeps. And if it doesn't, don't panic. Return to the parking lot and find a person in a yellow vest, or you'll probably see Eric around and he'll help you get your phone going. Okay, so Richer, this is the application you're going to be running on your phone. When you open it, check the time is running, check the GPS accuracy is low. So you should see something about 3.2 meters or so. It really does help if you keep your phone on the dashboard. You don't want it between your seats or somewhere where you don't have a good view of the sky. So, because that will bump this number up. iPhones, be careful that you've not got your silence switch disabled or enabled. If you're using Bluetooth, the sound will come through your speakers, so make sure your speakers are on. And when you go through a checkpoint, you keep going, you don't stop. Your phone will go beep beep as you pass the checkpoint. The only time you stop are at the restart locations. So here's a quick video of what to expect when you get to the first checkpoint. Hopefully you guys can hear the audio from this. It might not be great, and you may not be able to see everything. Those are the beeps that you want to hear as you drive through. So as you hear the beeps, you'll see this checkpoint pop up. So number 1 will pop up on your phone. It'll say restart. That means you're good to go. Your phone's all good. If it's not, circle back around and we'll help you fix it out and sort it out. Okay. Okay, so time allowances. So if this is your first event, you might just want to ignore this whole section and follow the route instructions and not worry so much about the score. If you want to worry about the score, then you need to be aware of time allowances. Time allowances, they're designed to handle delays en route. So if you get stuck at a light or if you get lost, just before you arrive at the next checkpoint, you can say, I got lost for 10 minutes. You can add 10 minutes onto your time allowance here. That time allowance will apply to all subsequent checkpoints until the next restart. So there's no penalty for a time allowance. They can be taken for any reason. Yeah, I just want to go, if this really is your first time doing road rally, don't worry too much about this. This is for the sort of a more advanced topic. Okay, so heading towards the end, route instructions, you need to print and bring them with you. So we don't have any copies. You don't need to wear a helmet. This event is driven at normal road speeds. On the route instructions, you'll see restarts locations. So there's a time associated with a restart, and this is the time you should depart that location. So you'll arrive about 15 minutes before that time. It doesn't really matter what time you arrive at. It's not scored. As soon as you arrive, your phone will beep. That time is not scored, so it doesn't matter. But you want to leave at about the time that's indicated on the instructions. As you're leaving, don't forget to reset your odometer. This is one of the things that a lot of people are going to do. Once you're off on your odometer, it's quite kind of difficult to get back on track. So please don't forget to reset your odometer as you leave the checkpoints, as you leave the restart checkpoints. You don't need a number on the side of your car. And yeah, again, there's no check-in, no registration, there's no tables. It's pretty much a ride and drive. Do we have any questions, Eric, that I've missed or?
The only one that Craig Naylor had asked, because most cars don't have an odometer with with hundredths of a mile, is that a problem? And will the app cover that? I believe one of the other road rally specialists that was in the chat room did answer and state that there is a separate app called Odometer that Richard makes that allows you to get hundreds, but it's would require you to run a separate phone, and it adds to the complexity. We know it's a little confusing, but you can obviously just skip the hundreds and use the tenths.
Yeah, so it's your call as to whether you want to use the GPS app. This is the first time a lot of people will be doing this, and so this is a practice event really to get us up to speed. One of the things that you'll notice is that we're resetting the odometer every 20 miles or so, and that's because the odometers in most cars are only going to a tenth of a mile, and will start to become more inaccurate beyond 20 miles. Yeah, I've used a GPS odometer app, and they can be quite good, but you need to work out how to use it. Okay, so last slide. So I think one thing to remember is keep it fun. Keep speeds reasonable and safe for the roads in the area. Use the time allowance process. It's always safety first. This is a rally, not a race. If you're lost, email me your car number and phone number. I'll be monitoring my email. It really is the best way. I'll be able to work through your. If anyone gets lost, I'll be able to get in contact with you in a couple of minutes. The other thing is that I'll be monitoring the map, and we can see when cars got lost. And so if your phone rings, it's probably me calling you, and so you probably want to answer it because I can probably help get you back on track. I think last time around we had a couple of cars, and I can imagine you've got lost, you're trying to work out where to go, and you end up, a couple of miles down the road, and your phone rings, and then a couple of miles more, and but really, if your phone rings, you probably want to pull across as soon as you can, pull to the side of the road, answer your phone, and I'll get you back on track. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them now or email me tonight, and we'll try and help you out. Okay, do I have any more questions I can help with?
I think there have been a couple, but I'm trying to make sure that Bob has been answering a couple, and someone named Car Zero has answered a few others. Craig did ask, if we get behind, how does that affect our start time from restarts? And you may want to cover, the importance of TAs or time allowances to add to time where you feel like you can, where you've made a mistake or you need to catch up.
Yeah, so if you're in the middle of a segment and you get delayed and you use a time allowance, and when you get to the next restart location, you're already behind, you can use another time allowance on that next location. So
And Craig had pointed out, he has the wrong, quote unquote, wrong tires on his car. So obviously his odometer on his dash is going to be off. But that's why, Craig, that you do the initial, that initial stint lets you figure out how far off you are. And then obviously you'll need to do the math to figure out what you'll need to adapt for against the instructions going forward.
yeah, I actually found the old school GPS units that you used to put on your dashboard. Though some of those have an odometer feature on them, and the one that I used was really good. You might want to try and use one of those rather than your phone or a phone, but it's your call. I just had more luck with the GPS dash units.
And then David Vance asked, is there any disadvantage to running both of our phones so one is a backup? Actually, you don't want to use multiple phones at the same time. It will cause problems. So you'll want to make sure that only one phone is actually logged into the Richa app. So don't log in twice.
And then to Gregory Horn, it's probably easier if you shoot me an email, because if I get multiple phone calls at the same time, I won't be able to respond to them. But if I get multiple emails at the same time, I'll be able to work my way through them pretty quickly. And so that's probably the quickest way to email me, and I'll be monitoring my email.
I don't see any other questions coming in. I do want to wait a second though, because obviously there's a slight delay from the live stream to what people are seeing.
Okay, NRI 27.
Thomas Pastori just asked, going back several minutes, looks like the NRI 27 and not 28 is the last time before the old Temecula. Can you confirm? I think Rick is just looking that up right now.
Yeah, that's correct, actually. It's NRI 27. Yeah. Yeah, so you'll see it's 3 power poles, and then you drop down the hill. And the main sort of message I want to get across is that as you transit through Old Town, there's lots of stops, and there could be traffic, and you might get delayed. And don't worry about it, because there's no more checkpoints after Old Town. You're going straight to a restart where you get a 15-minute break. So the purpose of the transit through Old Town is really to appreciate Old Town. It really is quite nice, and there's some stuff that you don't see. Yeah, I'd not seen before for sure. Patty's asking, how do I turn off the app? It keeps running since I first loaded it. Um, I think since the event is tomorrow, I'd leave your phone plugged in overnight, and then run with the event, run with the app running on the event tomorrow, and then uninstall the app after you've finished the event. But maybe wait until the evening before you uninstall it, so your times are uploaded.
Yeah, and Patty, if you have issues, you can always stop and see one of us after the event. We can show you to do it. The reason we can't give you the instructions now is each phone, iPhone, Androids of different variety are a little different on how to kill an app. So, and we also don't want to make it so that you can't run tomorrow. So, anyways, after the event, definitely you can find myself or Rick, and we can show you how.
Yeah, um, so Rick Alpert, the app does not beep when you leave each restart except the first one. So the app only beeps once for each checkpoint. So the restart has a checkpoint with it. It triggers when you arrive. There's no score associated with that. When you leave, it doesn't trigger again. So for each restart, it'll only beep once when you arrive. And then, is it allowed to have car numbers? For sure, you can put numbers on your car. We don't need them. It's up to you. It's your choice.
And then someone had asked about the toy drop off. Yes, we're definitely going to have a Toys for Tots box with us at the event tomorrow. I believe we picked it up today. I'm not sure if we're going to have it at the end of the event, so you definitely want to arrive on time so you have time to get the toy in the box. We will appreciate that. It should be pretty easy to find.
Yeah, is there anything we need to do after the last checkpoint from Ryan? So no, that's it, you're done. Once the last checkpoint goes and it's beeped, you're all done. You actually don't need to go um, to the destination location, the final location. After the last checkpoint, you're good to go on the freeway and head home. So that's your choice.
We don't see any other questions coming in.
Okay.
I guess it's
Sounds
the So I guess it's the speak now or forever hold your peace, or at least until tomorrow morning where you can find one of us to ask a question. But as always, feel free to email Rick or our info at SDRCCA, and we'll definitely get any questions answered for you. If you have any problems in the morning, definitely email us. It may not seem like email is the quickest way to get a hold of people, but us techie folks kind of live and breathe by our email, so we'll be sure to be keeping our eyes on it. We did make the decision today that we are going to have the live stream up. So for those that want to see how things are going, we will be posting that to our Facebook page. So definitely take a peek there in the morning. You'll see the link for it, and we'll probably send an email as well to the competitors so you guys can see that the live stream on YouTube.
Yeah, so results will go out. We'll try and send out tentative sort of initial results early tomorrow evening. And there'll be some times missing from those and some corrections made. So, and then about a week later, we'll try and post the official results on the SDR SCCA website. Yeah. Yeah, so lunch after the event, we're not organizing a lunch, or and we like are not recommending a lunch after the event because of COVID. So that's not. Um, yeah. So once we get out of COVID, towards the end of next year, of course, we'll be organizing a lunch for sure. It might be more than a lunch. Yeah, maybe a party. Um, but for now, definitely not organizing any events after the event. Yeah, and I can see there's already some competition going on between Scott and Nima. So,
Someone did say, "Where's checkpoint 19? Which sign?" I don't have the instructions in front of me, Rick.
okay, let me take a look. We do actually have a bunch of folks joining us from the LA region this time, so who are experts in this and have been row rolling for many years. So, okay, checkpoint number 19. Did you say? Which checkpoint was it we needed to check, Eric?
19, I apologize, sorry.
Oh, so checkpoint 19. Yes, you'll see a bunch of so the diamond signs. What happens is you've got 2 lanes going down to 1. So the right-hand lane merges into the left-hand lane, and you see these diamond signs with the red dots in the middle. And there's actually probably 4 or 5 of them on the right-hand side. So 2 lanes going down to 1, and a bunch of diamond signs because you need to move across, because that right-hand lane will disappear.
And someone asked about trophies. I haven't been to the last few road rally committee meetings, so I'm not sure what was decided there.
So we don't have trophies at the moment. I think we need to take a look at that. It might not be this year, it might be next year by the time we get around to it. We're still in our early phase, and we'll be busy trying to get the next event going in February. We've got a great team of people. I should say, actually, I forgot to say, we've had a great team of people organizing this rally, and who've been working actually very hard. We've actually been meeting almost every week on to organize this event. And people have been driving it Saturday, Sunday for the last 3 or 4 weekends. So it really is quite a lot of work that's gone into this event.
There's some people asking, I'm not exactly sure, there's some confusion on the 19. Craig saying it was a joke, but then I think there's some some serious questions about, is there one of those diamond signs at the checkpoint? I'm not sure if there's a joke with this.
There are 4 or 5 diamond signs at the checkpoint. It really is like that. Yeah, so I would like to say a big thanks to the Crutches who have put this event, so Mike and Tracy, who have put this route together for us. They did all the initial plotting and some amazing GPS work. And then Steve, John, Eric, Bob, Peter, and Diane, so there's quite a big team of people. If you do want to help out, please email us, and the more the merrier. We do need help putting routes together.
Sorry, I'm getting bombarded with messages on the side there. Sorry about that. Rick was also, I didn't hear your name in that list of people doing a lot of work, but if people don't know it, Rick does a tremendous amount of work, not only for the road rally, but just for the region as a whole. We all really do appreciate Rick. So let him win tomorrow. Oh wait, you're not running, Rick. So
I'm not running, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, he's actually going to be there early tomorrow morning to pre-run the entire course. So
yeah,
everybody else.
Sounds good.
All right.
Oh, minor waivers. If you have a minor, please bring your minor waiver forms printed in color, signed, and signed by both parents. And then bring them to, they don't need to come to me, just need to come to any SCCA person.
All right. I think we are all set. We did this in almost exactly 30 minutes.
Sounds good. Okay, thank you very much for dialing in. If you have any questions, again, please email and we'll try our best to answer.
Awesome. And remember, guys, the URL for this link is going to stay. So if you need to refresh the page, don't worry, you won't lose anything. You can always go back and re-listen to everything you'd like. If you have any questions, email us. We'll be available. Have a great night, everybody.
Okay, thank you.